And we're back to Lamplight City. A little early. I wanted to get it right when it was popping. What? Whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and load our game up. Let's just get right into this. We are at, we got the lady was presumed dead. This chick, Madame Duprey. She wasn't. She woke up in the middle of her funeral in a casket. This is her doctor. We talked to the suspect. He's in jail. I got no clues or nothing yet. What's this guy's name? Albert Martin. Who's apparently into voodoo. And they were blaming it on black magic. So we got a couple things we got to do here. Let's speak to everybody here. We're going to go talk to the daughter who was banging Albert Martin, the guy in jail for it. And we got to go talk to his mama.
Her eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
There you go, Bill.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
How long have you been Madame Duprey's private physician?
Yeah.
5 years.
Only 5
and
years?
I've been practicing medicine for the past 30.
Okay.
I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time.
This shit ain't funny,
You
Bill.
must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
That's fucking gross.
Tell me about Madame Duprey.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community.
Pillar
I
of the
cannot
community.
imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
You think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
All right, well, what
What
happened?
were the circumstances surrounding Madame Duprey's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Duprey had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Duprey wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
All right.
Did you examine Madame Duprey after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Duprey to appear dead?
So she's
The most
brain
likely
dead.
cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe?
Guess we don't have
Madame
any
Duprey
tox
was
screens
poisoned?
back in,
The
huh?
symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading
What?
about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham.
Facts,
Surely
facts.
someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Oh, I'll be back.
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Duprey could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Okay, a little bitter there, Bill, huh? Let's go on inside.
Oh, hello.
Little
Are
butt
you the
crack.
new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
What the hell's
Are
wrong
you
with this
feeling
guy?
all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Andrew,
Yes.
huh?
Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
Alright, let's look at the butt crack. Can we look at the butt crack? No, can't look at the butt crack.
A beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupreys a cool copper.
You talk to the parrot?
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Holly, want a cracker?
No, thank you. Rock.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey. Rock.
Who's a pretty bird?
Rock. Ray's a pretty bird.
Ray's a pretty
So long,
bird.
birdie.
Rock. Bye-bye.
Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Duprey family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house? Duprey looks
What's
like
wrong
she's
with that,
holding on
Bill?
that poor bastard for dear life.
Got a kitchen, we got upstairs. Is that it? And outside of the garden. Alright, let's try and talk to homeboy
I have
here.
some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Let's talk about himself.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
Kind of a dick, man. Alright,
What
what's
can
up with
you tell me
Mama?
about Madame Duprey?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
Come on, man.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
That's a rather exotic bird
Dude ain't
you've
gonna talk
got.
about nothing.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
Kinda.
Really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Check out the kitchen. Oh, we got some peppers. Some bread.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here.
What is this
Some
device?
kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight.
Gumbo.
I wonder how it
I'd like
compares
me
with
some
Upton's
gumbo.
special recipe. Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges. Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever.
I bet it could be.
It's times like these make me wish I could still eat.
Alright, let's talk to the servant.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Duprey.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Oh, why not?
Do you know anything
Come
about
on,
what happened to
give me
Madame
something.
Duprey?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
All right, I'm going.
Alright. Something tells me we'll be back.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Duprey didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls. This is always my favorite part of detective work.
Rooting through people's stuff.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
Ugh, how disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Duprey for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles. Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Ah, the Gascon Docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed.
Alright, let's check out this room.
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
What do we got here?
The Science of Pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
We don't need to know what page they're on. Closed is agreed upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel, Joshua. P.S. Sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait a few days before passing by.
These should be useful.
Hey.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing.
Leeches?
Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird. Decadent. A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out. What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the fuck that is. We looked at the container.
Yeah, it must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
That's probably
Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder.
Is that a button? Guess not.
I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Duprey and I at least have similar tastes.
It's funny. It's a naked guy. Oh, Bill's gay. Whose bedroom is this?
Juliet really likes plants and flowers, doesn't she?
Juliet's room.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Nothing?
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Well, the key's good over around here
Nice
somewhere.
little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
What's in the
Let's
papers?
have a look through these papers. Aha, what's this?
There it is. Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a serial burglaries in the neighborhood near the room you're running from me at 76 Forest Lane. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find and close a copy of your new key. Hope it doesn't cause for much inconvenience. 76 Forest Lane. Alright.
So, Juliet is renting a room in the Chum. That's certainly interesting. I can't wait to see what sort of dirty secrets she's got hidden away in there.
Did that key work on it?
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Alright, we still got some residents to question.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
I would. That's pretty nice. So we can't get on that chest yet, so we'll be back.
That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Duprey's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom.
I guess her first love.
A much younger
He
Madame
died.
Duprey. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror.
What kind of books we got? That red one looks...
Choice and Consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that?
Parsons of Cook
One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a
of the
fan of
Damned,
Bedletter
or
short stories.
The Chestertons.
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting. I don't even want to know what that one's about.
Equestrian Mesmerism.
I read that one last year.
Buffalo
If you
Skinner.
ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
Something
Choice
going
or
on with that book.
Consequence? Who in their right mind would write a book about that?
Well, we don't know about it yet, so we can't look at it.
Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
It would appear that Madame Duprey was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
That's going to be important for that piano.
Hmm.
The harpsichord
Seems
or whatever
Madame
it was
Duprey
called.
fancies herself a poet.
To dream. O Morpheus, caress my cheek, bring forth the soothing visions, give me strength when I am weak. Allow me some provisions. In your domain I am a queen, controlling as I see and hear. I've traveled places I've never been, and know not the meaning of fear. Lord Dupree. The dove is pure, serene and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky. Its gentle coos, unlike the wail of the cursed crow that will not die. Protect the dove from the grim defeat, let it remain in gentle fight. In flight, for when the crow's allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night.
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often. Nah.
Don't quit your day job.
Let's see if there's anything in these drawers.
Come on, we got something.
Damn. Nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes. Of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Uh-huh, now this is intriguing.
What is this? Not gonna warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll kill. Ah.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Okay, well, we've been... There are these doors. We haven't questioned him yet, or the cook. We can ask him about the medicine for Andrew.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Be my guest, be my guest.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, we're doing it.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Yeah, you did all right. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, though. Where we're gonna go next, though? Okay, we got Juliet's apartment. We haven't even met Juliet yet. We can go talk to Juliet at the university. That's where she came alive at. That's where Upton's at. That's where we are. The jail. We need to go ask him about the death threat. And what was 451 Compton Street? I don't remember where that is. Then we can go talk to our wife. We want to go talk to Juliet first. So.
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here.
On that note, we are going to save it. Plants everywhere. So, till next time, guys, drop a like if you haven't already, and drop a sub if you're new. We will see you next